Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Band Together Leadership. My name is Paul Everts. You can reach me on my email address, which is BAND, bandtogether at Comcast.net. And I wish you would. This has been a great adventure for me. I'm reading children's stories. This is what I call Grandpa Story Hour. I just want options for people. As you know, I don't know, some people don't know, but there's a thing called Drag Queen Story Hour, and I'm not looking to shut people down. I do think there are issues right now in the United States that are pretty big, and just find an alternative and walk away. You know, some people are going to walk away from me because they see these stupid antlers. They think I'm crazy, but I'll just say, like I said last week, it just doesn't look any more strange than other story hours do, and I wear this because I think the kids might think it's funny. So I'm a grandpa of two boys, Jason and Wyatt. They live in another state, so I thought, hey, what the heck? Let's read some stories, and then their mother and their father, who's our son, and I love Ashley, our daughter-in-law, they can decide whether or not they want to have grandpa read stories. So, and I would think the same for you. I'm almost done. I usually do a 2-minute introduction, and I give you like 10 seconds. So, again, I want you to have options, and I would encourage other fathers, mothers, and I'm going to just say for sure, grandfathers, to read stories. Put them on YouTube. If you don't put it on YouTube, just send them to your son, daughter, and son-in-law, daughter-in-law, and let them decide whether or not they're going to do it. Okay, so this should be, I'm going to say, the 29th of December, so you've already had Christmas. Christmas is a season, though. I believe it lasts for 12 days. And, right now we're in the Christmas season. I hope you all had a great Christmas, those who celebrate Christmas and those who celebrate Hanukkah. Hanukkah's done by now as well. So here we go. I'm going to give you 5-10 seconds to get things ready. And today we're going to do How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is our daughter's favorite story, so it means a lot to me, actually. Our daughter's 26, by the way. All right, you ready? 10 seconds. Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Grandpa Story Hour. I'm Mr. Everts, and I want to give a special shout-out to Jason Everts and to Wyatt Everts, our grandsons. Because we have grandsons, I want to read them a story, and you, boys and girls, along with Jason and Wyatt, you get to have a story read to you. I hope that if you celebrate Christmas, boys and girls, that you had a good Christmas. Those who have Hanukkah, hope you had a nice Hanukkah. Today is the Thursday following Christmas, so I believe it's the 29th of December. And Christmas isn't just a day. Christmas is a season. It lasts 12 days, and the January 6th is the 12th day of Christmas, and that's when the kings came and gave some gifts to a baby named Jesus. Today, we're going to read our daughter's favorite book. Boom! How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yeah, because we're in Christmas season. So you ready? Love it. I hope you got to see the cartoon. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Dr. Seuss. Here we go. For Teddy Owens. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. There you go. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Angry Grinch. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now, hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would make bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise, oh, the noise, the noise, the noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, the noise, the noise. Grinch is not too nice. Then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat. And he chuckled, and he chucked, and he clucked. What a Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No! The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. Oh no, poor little Max. So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. That's the dog. Then the Grinch said, "Get up!" And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. You're doing a good job this thing, boys and girls. Really good. Okay. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care when he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop number 1. The old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Woo! That Grinch, man, I'll tell you what. Look at him. Look at the Grinch. Oh, my goodness. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. The mustaches. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. My goodness. Grinch, you need to mellow out. Okay. Oh, look at that goofy face the Grinch has. So silly. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant. Around the whole room, he took every present. Pop guns, bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and the plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimney. Here we go. Then he stuck to the icebox. He slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Mean little Grinch. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, said the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on the tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there. Then I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her on the head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And then when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he, the Grinch, went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for the fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls, he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. You're doing a good job listening. It's almost over. Here we go. It was 1:15 dawn. All the Who's still abed. All the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sled, packed it up with the presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and then the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. "3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh, pooh to the Who's," he was grinchiously humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do." Their mouths was hung open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I must simply hear." He paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low. Then it started to grow. You're doing a good job. Here we go. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound would sound merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very. He started down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. When he saw was a shocking surprise. Look how shocked the Grinch is. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it just came. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be snow? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And what do you think, boys and girls? Jason? Wyatt, what do you think? He himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beef. I hope you had a very good Christmas, boys and girls, Jason and Wyatt. I hope you had a good Hanukkah if you celebrate Hanukkah. And the next time I read to you, it will be the new year. It'll be January 5th of the new year. Okay, boys and girls, thanks a lot. Be nice to mommy, daddy, grandma, and grandpa, who's ever feeding you and clothing you and giving you a house to live in. Okay, love you dearly. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.